your problems are most of the time so much bigger in your head. So when you write them out, it actually makes them a lot more tangible and makes them easy to deal with. And hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Katerina Sakoshek. So you probably know that everything you want to do has probably been done before, right? And there's a way to do the thing you want to do, because I mean, how many people are there on the planet that have probably done what you want to do? So everything is figure outable, right? I love that saying, everything is figure outable. So why aren't you doing what you want to do? Why aren't you already where you want to be? So it can be a multitude of things. First of all, there is an overload of information and you know, out there, and it's difficult to know exactly what applies to us. And because there is just such an abundance of information out there, right? And there's the internet. But what I want to challenge you on is the fact that what might be stopping you is your current mindset, your current thoughts, and your current beliefs, right? Because when it comes down to it, well, what it boils down to is it starts in your mind, and it starts with your thoughts, right? Why is that? It's because your thoughts turn into your beliefs, which turn into your actions, which turn into your results, right? So if you're thinking negative thoughts, right, all the time, and you're thinking about ways or reasons you can't do something, do you honestly think you're going to do that thing that you want to do? No, right? If you have negative thoughts and you keep beating yourself up and you keep thinking, well, I can never achieve this, I can never be a successful artist because, you know, I don't really know any successful artists, you know, I've heard about them but I don't really know any, and, you know, I'm just not good enough because I've been told that I'm not good enough, and that, you know, selling art is hard, and you tell yourself these stories, right? And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you're telling yourself these things, you're repeating them constantly to yourself, and it actually becomes reality because you are subconsciously, you're convincing your subconscious mind through what you say, through what you think, and then through what you speak and through your actions, right? And if you don't really believe in yourself, you're not going to take much action, and you're not going to get many results, and that's just going to reaffirm and, you know, prove to your brain that's really smart. It's going to be like, well, you see, I told you so. You can't actually do it because look, you don't believe you can. You tried and you couldn't, right? That's only because you took a little amount of action, because in the first place you didn't believe you could, right? So it's really, really important to start becoming aware of your thoughts, because it starts with your thoughts. If you have a little thought, and it's really difficult to be conscious of them, right? But if you have a thought that comes up, really ask yourself why it's even there and where it actually comes from. So journaling is a great way to overcome this, right? Writing it down, making it tangible, because it's often really difficult to see our thoughts when we're in our own head, and they're not really tangible, right? We jump around, we're constantly thinking of this, and we move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it's really difficult to pinpoint exactly what the thought is, write it out. If you do write it down, then you can ask yourself, you know, you write out the false belief, and then you ask yourself, is this really true? Where does it come from? What is something I can do today to overcome it, right? And Rome wasn't built in a day. You can't, you know, journaling, you can't just journal one day and expect your whole life to change. It's a process, right? So yeah, journaling also allows you to, once you've figured out this negative belief and thought, it allows you to begin taking action through, you know, you find solutions, brainstorm solutions of how you can overcome this problem. And when you write it out, it does something very powerful, you know, actually handwriting it out, it does something very powerful. There's even scientific proof as to the benefits of actually putting pen to paper when you're thinking of ideas and you're brainstorming, when you're trying to come up with solutions, right? And your brain's reticular activating system, so I suggest you look this up, but your brain's reticular activating system, once you're focused on a solution and on the outcome that you want instead of what you don't want, your brain will pick up information as you go about your life that has to do with that thing. So the more precise and the more clear you are about the outcome that you want, the more you're going to you know, the more events, people, circumstances are going to come up that are in line with that thing, because your brain is very, very powerful. It works like a computer, right? So that's why it's important to give it a precise target, and that's why journaling, when you write out your thoughts and your negative beliefs and switch them around, one very powerful thing to do is also to write out your negative belief, like, I don't think I can sell my art, or there aren't enough. You know, I was speaking to an artist yesterday who said, oh, well, the economy, you know, they always blame it on the economy. Well, the economy is bad in America, so sales have gone down. And I was like, is this all over the world? And he's like, yeah, probably. So people just make up these excuses so that they don't have to take responsibility for their failures, right? So it's important to take responsibility, to acknowledge the problem, write it out, ask yourself if it's really true, and then counter it with a positive affirmation. So and you can begin to do this as time goes. So for instance, your negative belief could be, I don't think I can be a successful artist. So you could turn that around. First of all, ask yourself, is that true? Where does it come from? Could it be something that someone said to you in the past that makes you actually believe that? And then I want you to switch it around with a positive affirmation, right? So I can't be a successful artist. Turn that into, I'm working every day on becoming the most successful artist in this field, right? And I want you to aim high. So when you write out, your problems are most of the time so much bigger in your head. So when you write them out, it actually makes them a lot more tangible and makes them easy to deal with and makes them bite-sized, right? So there's no right or wrong way to journal, right? But you can use journaling to brainstorm, to write out your tasks of the day, to write out your fears and worries, turning those around, to write out your future vision. You know, you can use scripting. I don't know if you've heard of that, but scripting is essentially writing out your future, exactly how you want it to look. And then you can use prompts, you know. So I've written a few down. So you can use prompts like, what am I grateful today? What am I grateful for today? You know, what are 3 things I can do today to get me closer to my goals? Whatever. Or what is one thing in my life or one area in my life I want to improve, and how can I start moving towards that today? So when you're feeling, you know, anxious, depressed, stressed, and you're very overwhelmed, write those fears out, write it down so you can see it in front of you and not just get so caught up in your own head, because we often make a problem, we amplify a problem in our head, right? And then we start thinking of all the things associated with that, and we start thinking our life is just a mess because we associate it with a million different things, and then we just think we'd like blow it out of proportion instead of making it tangible by writing it down and making it clear so we can think of clear outcomes as to get over that, right? And then another powerful thing, a tip when it comes to journaling is you can, at the end of the day, journal, and you can review how your day went, and if you did everything you wanted to do that day. You can say, did I do the things that are going to bring me closer to my goals today, or did I do things that are going to get me further away? What can I do to improve tomorrow if I didn't do what I set out to do, right? Another one is a very powerful question like this one. Did I show up today in a way that is going to get me to where I want to be, right? Did I show up today? I like that question. So there's no right or wrong way to journal. It's just, you know, figuring out what works for you over time, and keep trying different things and use prompts, use questions. If you ask yourself the right questions, your brain is a very powerful tool, right? If you ask yourself stupid questions like, why am I like this? Why do I always end up, why has this happened to me? Your brain is going to answer you, right? It's going to be because you're an idiot. It's like your brain will answer those stupid questions in a stupid way. Whereas if you ask precise questions and more intelligent questions like, what can I do today to improve this skill? Right? If you think, I'm bad at this. Well, maybe you are bad at it. But ask yourself instead, what is one thing I can do to improve that skill today? And see it as it is, right? Don't see it worse than it is. Don't make the problem bigger than it actually is. See it as it is, and start adapting a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset, right? So do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? So a growth mindset is when you realize, you're conscious of the fact that the more time goes and the more effort and time and energy you put into something, the more you'll improve on that thing, right? It's obvious. But a lot of people think in a fixed mindset, they think, well, I'm just bad at that and I will never get better because there's so many artists out there that are better than me. And that's a fixed mindset. They don't realize that, you know, those artists spend hours and hours and hours improving their skills. It's like, oh, well, they're just lucky they have talent. Yes, maybe they did, but work is more important, or putting in consistent work outweighs talent, right? You've got to put in the hours. If you want to improve your skills, you've got to put in that time and the hours of effort and energy, and obviously over time you will improve in that, and the more time and effort and energy, the more you'll improve, the faster you'll improve, right? It's obvious, but people don't think like that. So start adapting a growth mindset, and if you don't have a growth mindset, you can actually train yourself to have a growth mindset by also consuming you know, the right content, because the inner world and the outer world are actually connected, right? And until you believe something to be fact in your head, in your inner world, you won't, like, you've got to first believe it in your inner world for it to show up in your outer world. So I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you found it valuable. I hope you found the journaling tips valuable, and I will see you for the next video. Thank you for watching.
Yes, of course.